to that game, actually. There was back and forth. They definitely had some grasp on that game. And so whether they decide to do it again or not, I'm not sure. They might feel like there's other, yeah, there we go. There's the S-band. I'm not surprised, to be honest. I think it's a little easier for them, for sure, just to go in to the game knowing they're not going to have to deal with this Israel uh, getting away, so they can play a little bit more, uh, I guess, champions that can just like pick people off, which seems to be what they like to do. They like
Yeah,
to play
I
pick
mean,
comp.
Camille did work pretty well last
Hmm.
time we saw Macleans pick it up. Generally a pretty strong champion that has a lot of CC, a lot of mobility, and a fair amount of damage as well, and also just does a little bit of everything. Has a shield as well. Um, but Lulu was a champion that when they let through caused a lot of chaos for the enemy
Yeah,
team.
it did.
It not so much. And I'm speaking of previous iterations, not this particular matchup. In this particular matchup, Lulu was not a huge issue, but when you do let Lulu in and you do let her loose, it does go crazy. We do, however, see the Aphelios getting locked in immediately for Botany
Yeah,
house because of the
wrong again.
prior success, and McLean's now with the Lorax and Benji going for a familiar composition to what we've seen
Yeah.
before.
So
I vibe it. It's good.
yeah, Zach seems to be comfortable on Benji seems to be comfortable on Zach, and obviously the Swain seems to do pretty well. And so I like it. I think this doesn't surprise me at all the way these picks are going. Are we gonna see a Ziggs coming out? As a question. Are we gonna get that again because it wasn't banned? That's something that Dilma could definitely take out. Didn't necessarily did okay. I would say Dilma definitely did the job on Ziggs, but it wasn't where the focus was. The focus was very clearly on Obsess and Dante in their last game. Picks up that Zillion. So they're going with a hybrid here. Game 2 plus game 3 equals game 4 for Botany.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to see Zillion come back. I think Zillion has really good moments in the last matchup. Has some really good resurrections.
Mhm.
Pretty interesting positioning. And I suppose this time bombs do something unique. You know, the time bombs not only provide delayed damage, but enable
We
Yasuo
got
to
a
come
Yasuo.
through.
We
Okay.
got a Yasuo coming out.
I mean, I just want to
With,
say, I just want to say, Yasuo is great in combination with Zac. There's a lot of
yeah,
knockup potential there.
I've played a lot of Zac, and when I see Yasuo, I often just lock in Zac because it's so easy for him to get his ult off. For
So many
6.
knockup potential, so much
Mhm.
knockup potential. But just to finish off what I said about Zillion, his Q does something very unique. It not only provides delayed damage, but it also forces the enemy team to disposition themselves. They can no longer group. They can no longer be near that one champion, and it forces that champion to be in isolation. And if not,
Mm.
they get punished for taking damage because they are with him.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think Zillion, yeah, annoying to play against. That's for sure. Definitely gonna be annoying for Macleans, and actually gives that Aphelios a little more survivability, like the Israel would otherwise have. And it looks like they really didn't like that Hecarim. Doesn't surprise me at all. They're gonna ban that away, as with the Trundle. Both of them giving them quite a hassle actually. And so, what are we gonna see Obsessed picking up this time? We get a Silas ban, Alistair ban. Because I think they realized that Alistair Swain combo bot lane was
I'm
kind of annoying. So
I mean,
what
the
are they gonna
Silas
put him?
ban is pretty interesting. I'm sure they've got the reasonings for that as well. Generally, a champion that we've seen perform very well, has a lot of life steal or sustain, and was
Mm.
able to steal ultimates, can make things very complicated for the enemy team or your team. Um,
Rel.
but Trundle and Hecarim being banned out, I completely understand why. Trundle was an
Uh-huh.
absolute monster. He just messed up the entire team last game. He took away the armor.
Mm.
He made your tank squishy. He made it really hard to beat in team fights, and he caused a lot of disposition. Xin Zhao being locked in,
Oh, usually
following a
banned.
rel lock in
Mm.
as well. So now that they've banned out Trundle, they're saying, you know what, we want to take your armor as well with the other champion that does that. Tanky Cow will lock in a very strong and very mobile support champion. If you can't have one horse, you have the other horse. And so Dante being picked up here, along with potentially a Malphite, does mean that we are seeing not only a lot of knockup, but a lot of CC and control because
Mm.
Dante will be able to either spread your team apart or Malphite come in and lock them in.
Yeah, now it looks like what are we gonna get taken out from Maclean's here because dealing with Shin is kind of
Oh yes,
difficult. Is it
lock it
gonna be a
in.
Wukong? Well,
Brutally.
I don't think we have seen some Wukongs in the high school league actually. Oh wow,
Yes.
gets locked in.
Yes. That's
Nice. All
what I
right.
want to
Is the
see.
Lorax going to be playing this? That's my question. Yes, the Lorax is going to be on Wukong up against Danny on that Malphite, and as we've seen in the last few games, uh, he's just going to be trying to survive. Danny's going to be trying to survive. The Lorax is going to be trying to snowball as quickly as possible. The thing is, Obsess is on Sin here, so gonna be a lot of pressure into their top lane potentially, and that could really make the difference between the game for Macleans or not. Because if they shut down the Lorax early enough, I feel like Dante and Booger usually fairly confident in their bot lane. They don't need too much help. Mid lane's kind of even, and so Benji's probably going to be giving him a lot of help. But against the Xin, I mean, uh, the early game is so strong. I think it's a great pick by Botany here. Surprised it wasn't banned. And we're going to see
Surprised
just
as
how
well. Yeah.
strong it's going to be in the hands of Obsess. Yeah. Uh, Hopefully, we're
Man.
going to get some early ganks out of Obsess this time. Surely, with this
Uh,
champion.
Obsess has been pretty. I'm pretty obsessed with Obsess and his plays at this point. Trundle was pretty scary. Pretty excited to see how he turns out with this next team fight and these next games. To be honest, I am pretty excited to see how this team composition really rolls out for them. What are your thoughts so far on how they're lining up and what this is looking like? Do you think BDLD are going to take away this championship, or do you think Macleans are going to put up a fight and take us to a BM5?
Honestly, I'm really unsure. I think Maclean's definitely have the capabilities of taking us to a game 5. It's gonna come down to the early game, I think. Although, speaking from the last game, that didn't necessarily make too much of a difference. I think they have to make sure that Dante just doesn't get. If they can in any way, they can't stop him farming. I think that's just like something that we've learned is it's too hard to stop him from farming. So the only thing you can do is stop him from getting kills. And so either what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your focus bot and then force the Lorax to kind of try and get those solo kills top and deal with Xin if he goes there, or just like play safe in that bot lane, try and farm back. Don't really go for anything in bot lane unless you're absolutely sure that you're able to get it. Because if they stop Dante from getting that snowball, I think that's their best way. Because we saw what happened if he gets those early kills when he was playing Israel, gets the early kills, the game's over. And so they need to just like hold him back, get the Lorax needs to get something going, maybe do some roams down
I
bot.
feel like
Get
the
some
Lorax
big
really
TP.
underperformed in that last game as his Jax. I think they picked it up because they thought it was a great example. He didn't have a lot of opportunities, and they trickled in one by one. I think they were overconfident in their own personal play, and they really didn't focus enough on their team composite play. Where was their team fighting at? Where was their lineups? Where are their openings? And when are they going to be entering these team fights that enable them? And did they really play to his strengths? Because they didn't babysit. They kind of left him alone, right? And they were like, oh yeah, he's farming up a little bit. He's got a lot of CS. He's got twice of what Orn had, correct? And he should bully Orn in that lane.
Yeah.
He should be bullying him in that space. They gave Orn a little bit of backup. That wasn't enough. But at the same time, he wasn't at the point where in the game where they can just be like, right, we're gonna demolish everybody with Jax at this point. He never got to that point. He never had enough farm. He didn't have enough babysitting on his own. And even though he was ahead, they still needed to farm. They still needed to carry him a little bit because Jax is a bit of dead weight in the start, all the way till mid game. And in mid game he has a chance, and then late game he's an absolute beast.
Yeah, and this game, I mean, we've got a Yasuo in the mid, and so Shinramen proved actually pretty well last game that he could, take out the enemy carry on an assassin. LeBlanc isn't the easiest. It was able to juke around. It's give them a lot of time as well. And Yasuo is very different to an assassin. Very different to Syndra too. And Yasuo can maybe this is Shinramen's game to shine. I think if Yasuo gets ahead, it could very heavily play the game around him, and then with the Zac knockups, and we've also got what's supported they get? Are they a Nautilus bot? No. What did they pick up with Swain? I can't remember. I guess we'll find out.
I'm pretty sure it was Nautilus, but it didn't really matter because
Rel, that's right.
Oh yeah, yeah. So here we have Rel. Yes, correct.
So they have a big
last game.
They have a big the big team fight if Yasuo gets the hit, and so it's potential that Shin Ramen actually gets carries this game, and I
There's a
think
lot of
could
there's a
be
lot
really
of
strong.
potential tankiness on this side as well for Prem One.
Ooh, what are they
They seem
doing?
to go for a lot of robust team plays, but it looks like they're going for that pretty hard engage. And oh, Dante sees them early, and that's all their plans foiled. They're all
Foiled.
falling back. They're all single file leaving the
I
lane.
like this pink horse, this pink rail horse. Look
It's
at it,
pretty dope.
it's like a unicorn.
They need a rainbow unicorn skin for that.
Like a
They need a double. They need a double rainbow unicorn skin thing going on with Tech.
Oh, looks like it's gonna be a pretty standard start again here with nothing too crazy happening. Both are they both gonna start at no, we've got a blue start on Macleans and looks like we're gonna be a blue start here for Botany. So does that mean he's gonna do a level 2 gank at top? If so, that could change everything actually. We haven't had any super early ganks so far in this series. Both the junglers have sort of done full clears and then gone for a gank. Benji's generally focusing a little more on the ganks in the early game.
Perhaps.
But I'm wanting to see more out of Botany here. I think Obsess with some early ganks on them could really make the difference.
I think the monkey up top lane is trying to do a little bit of harassing onto Danny as well, so he will be just poking him a little bit, doing just harassing him. I mean, he's just very aggressive. Crushing blow is pretty crushing.
Yeah,
he's burned his passive and he's going. Look at that! Look at that! He didn't even take crushing blow. He took the dash.
Wow,
Crazy.
he did take teleport as well. So discipline. Good job taking teleport. A lot of the time you'll take like things like ignite just because you get so much lane pressure. But he knows, look, teleport's so much better in a team fight. It's so much better to help my team out if something's going wrong. And so might have lost him that kill with that first blood just now, but he's definitely got that pressure on, and it looks like Obsess isn't going to be hitting top anytime soon. He's going to just doing a full clear.
No.
And so does they actually have anything to worry about? And he did put the early ward down just in case, which I think was a good play there by the Lorax, just in case.
Yeah, potentially.
Oh,
nice
Benji
little
coming
gank down
in.
mid lane as well. Nice little airborne given to the Yasuo a little bit early. Obviously, of course, he can't capitalize on it, but it just shows that there is always opportunities like that, because if he landed that ult, that Zilean would be dead, right? If he had an ult to begin with.
If he had an ult, yeah.
Yeah, if he had an ult. But having said that, these are the opportunities available with that kind of composition and that kind of lineup. We are looking at a very dangerous gank phase, and the more that they show that throughout this laning, the more it's going to be apparent.
Kill the chicken.
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah, he got it. Wow. This guy's his calculations and his timing is far beyond our comprehension. Like, he can leave the chicken and he'll get it. He really knows what he's doing. Okay.
Yeah.
I think some mere mortals like us will never understand the mind of God.
Yeah, the amount of times I've walked away from a chicken thinking it's gonna die, then it doesn't, and it resets. It's just now it gives me flashbacks, man. PTSD flashbacks of these chickens respawning or resetting, should I say?
Oh no. So they're pulling back now, and it does look like, I mean, Rel taking that foreground is pretty great. I like how she is essentially she's just providing a little bit more armor for her AD carry, and she's just hanging out.
Oh,
Zac getting ready, is in the right position, does knock up the Malphite, does a whole bunch of damage, roots him, pulls him back, and there we go. First blood for the Lorax, leaving him with not only a little bit extra gold, but a great opportunity to go back, buy it up, and come back and beat a bigger volley.
Yeah, great first gank. Well, I guess not the first gank, it was actually second gank.
And oh my gosh, a lot of damage right onto the Tenki count. He takes it all, and he's gonna go down to one more shot. No! He sustains himself. He gets healed up, and oh, Booger Jr. secures the kill for himself, and Dante will go down in return. That's a fantastic trade. 1 for 1, and does look like both supports leave with that one. But in return, one kill on each support goes down onto the carry. So it's not too bad. It's kind of a sustained outcome there. If you think about it, it's the best that Prem 1 could have made for it, but it's not the outcome that BDLD wanted.
I just want to say Macleans that oh wait, we have something going on top lane here. Another gank coming through. Are they gonna get a kill on Danny? It looks like it for sure. The Lorax 2 kills up now. Tenki actually surviving slightly longer in that bot scuffle before because of his soul, so he was passive, pulling the soul, gaining extra permanent health, and that little heal actually kept him alive for like just that little bit extra, so that Bush was able to finish him off at the end. And Unfortunately, Obsessed wasn't in fast enough, so there was a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, so
Maclean's out.
it's good that the supports got it, because if Aphelios got that kill, it would have been really bad. It would have been really, really bad.
Yeah,
But it's also good. It's also good. It's the way it turned out. Overall, though, up top, I think if they bully Malphite, it's gonna be okay. It's just it's free kills for the Wukong, which is not okay. But Malphite should be able to keep himself in the game regardless because of that ultimate. It just gives him that unfair advantage in some respect. Yep, we've spoken about that before. We'll speak about that again. Malphite is a champion that does not fall off because he has his entire kit will always enable him to be useful at all times.
Yes.
We do need to, however, keep a tab on that Monkey God, because the Monkey King himself is just scary when
so
that's not checked.
good.
Oh my gosh! Lorex playing it on the edge takes a little bit too much damage from the minions. We'll get out of there fine, but very, very greedy for a lot of this damage into that tower. Wants to pick up that tower early. Hopefully he keeps himself in check. He doesn't actually waste a lot of time. But we do see Benji here going back and just collecting that scuttle for himself. And you know what? Scuttle control is so underrated.
Yeah, because I mean, I wouldn't say underrated. I think most jugglers know just how important scuttle control can be. Sometimes I think people fight a little too hard for the scuttle. Actually,
my gosh, and they
Does
fight a
miss the
little bit too
knockout.
much under that tower as well. The airborne onto the resurrection is here, and there we go. I mean, Dilma pops that ult a little at the right time. And they trade ults for it, but there we go. Bot lane with a nice gang from Obsess leads to a double kill for him, taking out both Swain and the Rel.
yeah,
Equating to a pretty good gank down bot, enabling them to not only now scout out that bottom river, but also perhaps even think about the prospects of Blue Dragon. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it goes to show just how strong Sin is in this early game. You didn't really see what happened, but it's when he gets in on a gank and he gets on top of someone, his damage is just insane. Often it does end in a kill, and he gets two this time. It does go on to Obsess, doesn't get onto Dante, which probably would have been their preference here. But definitely puts them back in the game, right? They were trailing behind a little bit, and they're able to secure this dragon. But there looks like a fight at the blue buff. Oh, not quite.
Yeah, absolutely. They managed to pick that up for themselves. Nice Fire Drake. Gonna move on from that. What are Prem 1 gonna do to keep themselves in this lead? They did really recently lose a double kill to the Xin, and that does enable Xin to be a little bit scarier, but they still have a slight gold advantage. It's not too much. It's still enough for them to make a comeback. But what are they going to do strategically? Because right now, I feel like it is still even. It is still anyone's game. And BDLD can actually come in and do whatever they want, really. But considering that Zillion just used his ultimate, and no one's really eyeing for a big team fight right now, all they can really do is look for objectives and try to find a tower or two.
Definitely that Rift Herald, I think, is screaming out to them right now. Pick me, you know, like, Danny's getting pushed under his tower, getting solo killed by the Lorax. It's a perfect opportunity for them to take out this Rift Herald. Here we go. Get him, yeah, had to have an ult away. Perfect time now to go for Rift Herald, or at least, like, ward it up, maybe prepare for it.
Yeah, I feel like there isn't much of that up top lane. He's kind of just, like, hanging around. He's kind of given up on it a little bit. And
Shin is on that top side, though.
They don't really seem to care about helping Danny out, but they've got eyes on almost every other objective besides the Rift Herald. Big Scuttle here is just hanging out, and I think that he is dropping low. Obsess is not willing to engage in that because there's a couple too many pings, and he does note it from the wards that the rest of the red team for Prem 1 are moving in on that. They're gonna have to just deal with the Scuttle. Sorry, not the Scuttle. With the big Scuttle. The Rift Herald. They're gonna deal with him when he comes up, and they're most likely gonna drop him up top lane. We'll see how that pans out. However, it does look like that maybe they might just drop him somewhere else. But Zach is wandering around, unsure of where that might just be at this point. But it does look like, oh, there we go. Rel moving in on the enemy team. Does put a little bit more armor on, but as soon as they see that teleport, they're gonna pull right back. Shen Ramen is not in a great position, put the wind wall up, and will get caught up in the middle of 3 members from BDLD, and they clean that up for a nice kill onto Xin Zhao. Now with 3 kills on the board and in his pocket, he will be a little bit more dangerous as they decide to move down for this bottom lane turret. Rel, down bot, does put a little bit of damage out there, but they're waiting for the right opportunity to dive this. Will Dante and Broga Jr. create an opening enough? But up top lane, we do see Danny in a little bit of a kerfuffle himself. Taking a little bit of damage, does get knocked up a little bit, and most likely will survive under his turret just for a little bit longer. Bush down bot. We missed a lot of the action here. Does get taken up, and 3 members of Prem 1 clean up kills.
Yeah, it looks like they tried to go for a dive here in the bot lane, and unfortunately, like we found in game 1, diving a Swain and a tanky support like Raul, anyone with like knockups and just it's hard to kill, is usually not a good idea because they have so much survivability. They're able to lock you in place. You're taking the tower hits, and you get so much AOE coming out from Swain, and they turned that around. And so what looked like an advantage to Botany actually turned around into Maclean's favor, and now Macleans is looking to pushing their top tower. They got the top tower down. Have they dropped the hero? They must have dropped it top lane. Yeah, yes, they dropped it top.
Yeah, they did drop it top. They got that turret. But I think the dive down bot was a big mess because they only got 2 turret plates off that, and yeah, they really got
all the kills are on Obsess.
Yeah,
Obsess just has all the kills.
He is the sole carry of this entire team. Without Obsess, I'm not sure if they're going to do enough damage. There's a lot going on for Prem 1 as they push on to Shin Ramen. The teleport's coming down to back him up. Will he stay alive long enough? But there we go. Xin Zhao and the monkey are here. 1 spin for the next. The resurrection does go down. It does look like Danny's here to play ball as well. A lot of damage going to the Lorex as he does get melted and picked up. And Danny pushes right onto Shin Ramen for Obsess to clean it up with a nice spear kill. And there we go. From that, moving on and perhaps waiting for that right dragon to
Dragon should be spawning up within the next minute. We've got mid lane. It's hard for them. They don't really have too much they can get off this. Unfortunately, Dragon is not actually up just yet. They should be able to get it on spawn, but by then I think Macleans will be back up, and so they're just happy with the kill, happy with the gold. Just gonna go back to base, try and spend it so that they can come back for the dragon fight, I suppose. Definitely got that vision out, and as you can look at the map, it looks like Botany definitely have better vision control here. Macleans are gonna have to start placing some wards, getting some red wards. Remember, people, it's not just the support that needs to be picking up red wards. Everyone should be. You can see it on the jungler. Benji's got a couple of reds in his pocket, but it's always a good idea for everyone to have one. Just the vision control of red wards is just so good. And as you can see, with all the red wards on Botany's side.
Oh my gosh, they're all diving in right onto the enemy support and bot laners. There we go, Obsess gets melted. There goes your carry. Will you have enough damage? No, Dante can't do anything. He's got no kills to his name. He has got no gold. He's got no items as well. And there we go. Booger Jr. can only fight from across the wall, and he barely makes it out. He barely survives that, and he barely does enough damage. The Mountain Drake goes towards, the Cloud Drake goes towards Prem 1. And there we go. As the mountain rises, the landscape shifts yet again. Prem 1 proving that they are a little bit more robust in this team fight, and by the look of it, perhaps even taking out the next few turrets. Prem 1 are in a good snowball right now, Pensa. I feel like this composition so far is not just their strength, but it's the team fights that they're picking.
Yeah, well, I mean, scrap what I said before about vision. They didn't seem to need the vision there to just get in and force the fight. They knew they were on Dragon. They didn't have any questions about that. They just took that team fight. They got a great engage off, and that's something that Botany's going to have to be very careful about. BDLD here definitely don't have quite as nice of a team fight. Of course, if Danny's there with the Malphite ult, it can help a lot, but when you have a Yasuo alongside Zac and then Swain, Raul, they just have huge engage. Huge, crazy CC wombo combo type deals coming out of Macleans, and they need to be careful.
The fact that Rel can pull you back into her as well.
Exactly.
A magnetic horse? Who would have thunk
that? Alongside of Swain is actually terrifying combo.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at Phelios. He's like a ninja man. This is absolutely melting some of these minions. I mean, like, if he wasn't melting minions, I'd be worried, but hey. So,
yeah, he's
right on the turret, Zac does engage, pulls him back into his support carry, and the carry will get CC'd up, slowed, now exhausted, and will take a whole bunch of damage. They're focusing on the support. They don't really want to worry about the carry because they know they can catch up at any time. It does look like up top as well, there's another team fight, and Dante is going to miss a couple of skill shots as his team tries to catch up.
Yeah, it looked like Benji missed his grab there. If he managed to land it, he could have actually pulled Dante into the ward, but didn't manage to. It managed to disengage. Good on Dante for getting out there, getting out alive. I think had he died, it would have been not so good. Probably would have lost the tower. But still a farming. Surprising me is actually that Shin Ramen's out farming Dante here. So that's Dante's got to up that CS game. Tends to be pretty good at it though. I'm gonna say after the 20-minute mark, that's something that I've seen is very consistent on him. Is even when behind, it still makes sure that he's getting that farm because that's where the gold comes from. And if you're not getting kills, you need to constantly get it. And he has 6 assists. So unfortunately, Obsess has been taking all these kills.
I mean, what I can say is that Prem 1 don't have an actual AD carry, right? They've got a melee AD carry, but they don't have a ranged AD carry. That's gonna play heavily into how they play their team fights, and that's how they play their team fights. They jump right into the game, they go for those knockups, and they try to secure a good fight. Bush is here to save the day, mitigates a little bit of that, provides some presence, and BDLD are not willing to engage anymore. They are terrified of this metal horse and everything that she stands for.
Yeah,
will they be able to do anything about it as they hold up in this brush? What are they doing?
Brush.
The Fnatic brush, like literally, they just like a couple of pings. You know what? They're not gonna rotate here.
They're not even gonna go for the scuttle. Well, they might wait it out.
They realize that no, there's no presence there. They're not gonna move to this position. It does look like, however, Wukong is rotating and they're trying to push
maybe
up top.
baiting.
Yeah, perhaps.
Jin is actually going back to base. It looks like they're gonna get a kill
doesn't
here.
seem to really care right now, and he's got a lot of attention. Does put the unstoppable force and burns the ultimate yet again. I don't think that would have been worth it. He's now 0-4 with 99 CS, 40 CS behind this Wukong.
And 5 kills behind.
Yeah, and
definitely
kills
gonna secure this Rift Herald here.
I mean, and he's burned his own utility. The only thing that really makes him valuable in that team at this point, he's used it. So now Prem 1's gonna look at that and he's gonna say, hey, we're gonna move in and we're gonna capitalize on this time. We burnt his ultimate, he's got nothing left on that, and you know what? He probably just has a flash left. They're gonna get this Rift Herald and they're probably gonna push for a tower. It's most likely gonna be mid.
Yeah, we managed to get Dante did manage to take that bot tower, so it's a little bit of gold going towards Botany and also particularly towards Dante, which is where they need it. They definitely need some of those kills going on to him in these coming team fights / these picks. And so I think what they're wanting to do is they wanted to avoid a team fight right now because Botany probably won't win the team fight, but they know that they can win if they have an upper hand or they capitalize on a mistake that Macleans make. And so I think they're just waiting, trying to find the perfect opportunity to take a pick. Maybe they're going to try to get one at this dragon here, but it's tough because I don't think they're going to win a team fight. And so they're probably just going to let it over to Macleans. Maybe if I were Botany, I'd go for that mid tower. Just take mid tower, maybe take top tower. Go for something, let Macleans take the dragon. But Macleans had a different idea.
Yep, they ran over Junior, they pick up Dante immediately. It's not like he could do anything about it anyway, right? It's essentially a free kill. He got destroyed, he got annihilated. Obsessed in return picks up Bush just in a fair succession as well. Does land a bit of CC onto Obsess. Benji has to pull back, dives back into his enemy team, and then there we go. Clash on clash, they jump right onto each other, and it does look like both teams are falling very low on health, but Prem 1 are the ones with the numbers, with the health available, and with the damage that they need. Triple kill going on to the monkey, and that Monkey King, like you said, is getting very scary. He is starting to dish out crazy damage with that Divine Sunderer, and he is becoming a real threat. Having said that, just as he has all the kills on that team, and just as Xin Zhao has all the kills, he has all the kills as well. You know, it's not that even. I'm sure Rel has some kills, but that's not who you want to have the kills on, right? A couple of kills here and there for Zac and Yasuo, but that's not the spread you're looking for. 16 kills and half of that is going to Wukong.
Yeah, that is and towards that late game, Wukong does start having a little bit of trouble, but I think at this stage, Macleans definitely have control of this game. Their team fighting is much stronger, particularly at the start. They took out the Aphelios. Dante, got popped. Of course, we did see Obsess take out Bush, but it's a support for an AD carry, and so the next team fight is going to definitely go in his favor of Macleans, and it did. They managed to pull out the dragon. Now they're playing on the back foot. Botany have to be very careful not to get caught out. Dante needs to make sure he's sticking with Booger this entire time. Booger needs to protect his carry and just help him. Keep farming. Keep doing what you're doing, but, they're gonna have to capitalize on some mistake that Macleans is making, and right now Macleans just isn't making any mistakes.
I think they're capitalizing on a lot of their objectives and their openings very well. Like you said, they're not making any mistakes. I feel like, if anything, they need to spread out a couple of more of the kills. They have the opportunity now. They have the confidence and they have the platform to be able to do that. Honestly, I think Danny should not be roaming by himself trying to farm up as much as he is, because now that he's wasted that much time and he's indicated and he's kind of telegraphed where he is, they're gonna get this free Baron. No one's gonna be able to stop it. I don't think the Brom's gonna be able to do much about it. He's gonna jump in there if he can, but there we go. He's gonna check it out, and then that's about it. You know, they're gonna do a little bit of damage, and they're most likely gonna be able to stop. They're not gonna be able to steal it. Unfortunately, red team collect that. Blue team are absolutely getting melted underneath the pressure right now, and they are getting one-outed at this point. Double kill going on to the Zac, and now they are pushing for the base. They are all readied up. They're not backing. They're gonna clear up these waves, and they're gonna push for that base turret, the inhibitor, and potentially even the Nexus.
Yeah, this is looking pretty good for Macleans here, wanting to send it to a game 5. They're not over yet. It's not over. They've come back super strong in game 4, and they're just flying down this mid lane. Most likely going to get an inhibitor. Oh no, they're just going to back off here. Play it safe, buy those items, clear out the enemy jungle, deny them as much gold as possible.
I think their logic is that by the time they make it to the tower, they would have spent their abilities. They don't have their a lot of the cooldowns, and the enemy team does. So by the time they come back in, they would be in a disadvantage because they would have to clear the turret, and it would be a prolonged time under pressure where they are at a disadvantage, and that in itself is a mistake or an opening that BDLD can capitalize on.
Yeah, well, they're definitely playing the safe option here. Just gonna be grouping up. Probably gonna want to use Baron if they can, of course. So they managed to get that bot lane tower, and now wanting not to waste the Baron buff. Maybe go top lane. Seems there's still that inner tower in both top and bot.
But here we go, boys and girls. Here in the third game between this matchup, the fourth? No, it is the fourth. It is the fourth game between BDLD and Prem 1, between Botany Downs and Macleans. We are looking at either Macleans taking it all the way to game 5, which is most likely what's happening here, or BDLD coming back with a miracle to secure this national championship for a well-deserved win. Who will we see turn up in this Meta New Zealand High School Esport League powered by MSI? What is going to happen, Penta? We are looking at the most, like, we're watching like a really, really good matchup. But right now, it's so stale because they're not willing to push onto each other. But it does look like Prem 1 are rotating for a swift push down mid.
Yeah, they're utilizing 1-3-1 here with the Baron buff, trying to get as much tower as possible. You know, the whole idea of this game is to kill the tower. Oh
my gosh, look at the CC going into taking out. He gets stunned, he gets melted out, and he pops the Sonias. He saves himself, he leashes back a little bit of health, but it does look like Obsessed. No, Dante picks up the kill onto the swing. Yeah, moving back onto the back line now, and it does look like Aphelios has to do everything he can to keep himself alive. They're pushing up. Obsessed takes a little bit too much damage, and a double kill going down to the Yasuo as they push past the base turrets. Right into the inhibitor turrets. Past the inhibitor. Right into the Nexus turrets. Yasuo picks up a quadra kill for himself, and they clean it up. Pentakill going down to the Yasuo, and it does end right now. Prem 1 Macleans secure the 4th game, and they are going into the 5th game full series right now. Penta Magic full series
finishes it off. We're going to a game 5. Like I said, Shin Ramen could potentially be the difference as well, and I think alongside the Lorex, they definitely just destroyed the team fight, play this game extremely well, and get to go to game 5. I'm so excited, super excited to see game 5.